I just had to go live right away for this one. Jim Jordan is currently speaking. I'll turn the volume up on this one just a little bit. But the breaking news, Hakeem Jeffries, a Democrat, has won more votes for Speaker of the House than House Leader Kevin McCarthy. I've been laughing nonstop. Sorry, I don't care. I'm just going to come out and say it. I know there's a lot of Republicans. I have a lot of friends who are Republicans. They're upset about this. They're saying, man, the Republicans can't get things together. That's true. That's true. Let me tell you guys, this is a historic. This is a massive failure for the Republicans right now. Jim Jordan is currently speaking because several of the Republican defectors have voted for Jim Jordan instead of Kevin McCarthy. Okay, let me just cut right into it. He's getting, they're all standing up. They're cheering for him. There's going to be another roll call vote. That's why I'm doing this segment live. I sat through the first one. 5 defections from the Republican Party is all it takes to prevent McCarthy from becoming Speaker of the House. Here's how it works. In order to win the speakership, you need a majority of the votes cast. So that means I believe there's 434 votes being cast. There's one vacancy. And so there's got to be at least, I think 218 votes. Okay. So they all vote. They calculate the votes. And then they say Hakeem Jeffries, I think, got 212. It might have been 211 votes. And McCarthy got, I think, 203. No one got a majority of the votes cast. Therefore, no Speaker of the House. They are now preparing to call a second roll call vote. This has not happened in 100 years. And you know what? I'm going to say this. I want to say this. Shout out to Matt Gaetz, to Lauren Boebert, and of course, many, many others who stood firm and said no to Kevin McCarthy. I'm happy. I am. Look, I'm going to say it. I was getting into it. There's a lot of friends that I have that are Republicans, that are conservatives, that didn't want to see this happen. They wanted McCarthy to be Speaker of the House. They wanted the concessions. They wanted a little victory, and I can respect that. However, I am not a Republican. I am not even a MAGA guy, sort of. I think Make America Great Again is totally fine. I have not been the biggest Trump supporter, but I think Trump's better than what we have. No, I am a moderate, middle-of-the-road guy who wants to see change, and it ain't Kevin McCarthy. Because in 2016, when Trump was coming in, he was never Trump. He was opposed to Trump. He worked with the GOP to stop Donald Trump. Now you've got a lot of people come. We got Matt Gaetz speaking. I'm going to go. Let's just play it.
Called to do. And so, my colleagues, I rise to nominate the most talented, hardest working member of the Republican conference who just gave a speech with more vision than we have ever heard from the alternative. I'm nominating Jim Jordan. Jim Jordan is humble.
Bravo, Matt Gaetz.
Perhaps today, humble to a fault.
Go to timcast.com, become a member, support our work. We're doing this one live. This is huge.
Wants it so bad. Maybe the right person for the job of Speaker of the House isn't someone who has sold shares of themselves for more than a decade to get it. Maybe Jim Jordan is the right person for Speaker of the House because he is not beholden to the lobbyists and special interests who have corrupted this place and corrupted this nation under the leadership of both Republicans and Democrats. Maybe Jim Jordan would be the right person for Speaker of the House because he wouldn't fight us when we try to get a term limits bill on the floor. Maybe Jim Jordan would be the right person because he wouldn't fight us when we try to put a balanced budget on the floor and vote for it. And maybe Jim Jordan is the right person because he would endorse the plan that was built by the Texas delegation to finally secure our border. Mr. Jordan said in his nomination that there are certain bills that we have to pass to fix the problem. The challenge is the alternative has been someone voting for the very bills that have caused these problems.
Yep.
Mr. Jordan says that we cannot accept legislation like the omnibus, and I fully agree. And if Jim Jordan were Speaker of the House, if he were the leader of the Republican team, we wouldn't have that circumstance choking the economy of our country, increasing inflation, and diminishing the prospects of a better life for our fellow Americans. And finally, Mr. Jordan said we must engage in rigorous oversight. Every one of my Republican colleagues knows that the person who can lead that oversight effort, who works on it every day, who has the skill and the talent and the will, is Jim Jordan. I'm nominating him, and I'm voting for him.
All right. As they start to begin their next roll call vote and everyone's giving their nominations, I just want to say, let me pull this up for you. I'm going to break it down for you, okay? This hasn't happened in 100 years. I don't think I have the article pulled up. I tweeted about it. The Washington Post, 2016, Kevin McCarthy said Trump was being paid by Putin or something to that effect. I don't trust the I don't trust the Washington Post necessarily, but one of the biggest complaints right now from so many people, let me see if I should mute that probably, from so many people on the right, Trump supporters, is that McCarthy and the GOP establishment were actively working against real America First candidates. All right. Let me tell you where I'm at. Here we go. We got this in real time. The McCarthy, the House Speaker votes. Let's see if they can sway 19 defectors from the Republican Party. 19! Yesterday on Timcast IRL, we were talking about the potential for this historic failure. Luke Rudkowski brings up 9 members of Congress, of the GOP, have signed a letter saying they will not support Kevin McCarthy. We just saw 19 defections. Now that is a sight to behold. And I'll tell you exactly how I feel. Donald Trump, I did not vote for him in 2016. I was like, this guy's arrogant and buffoonish. Get out of here. You vote for Trump. Not going to vote for Hillary Clinton. You know, I might consider like a Ron Paul vote or something. I don't completely agree with Ron Paul. He's more right, libertarian than I am. But I always say this. At least a libertarian will leave me alone. Okay? Y'all will go do your thing. So I'll take a libertarian, right libertarian, anarchist, whatever. Because then I'll do my thing. Y'all leave me alone. I'll accept it. So I said no to Trump. Then what do we see over the next couple of years? Donald Trump, he gets in. It's 2017. It's January. He's inaugurated. Wins 2016 election, and you get the Republican establishment actively working against him. Washington Post reporting that McCarthy said Trump was probably being paid by Russia or Putin or something. That exemplifies it so well. But I'll tell you this. There's not a whole lot I can come out and say about Kevin McCarthy in terms of policy. It's more about the uniparty and the establishment, what the Republicans have represented to me, what they currently represent, and what I see. I see the Democratic Party is garbage in its entirety. And it's exemplified here by this vote. And I'll tell you exactly why I would support Republicans. First of all, there's a lot of policy positions among Republicans I do like. We can see right now the votes are being tabulated. We'll see if McCarthy can get the majority. He needs 218. I don't like what they're doing in schools with kids in these books. That's a Republican battle. Democrats support it. Okay, so Ron DeSantis might be your guy. I don't like Democrats, warmonger party, Ukraine, dump money. I don't like it. Yeah, well, most of the Republicans, half of them support that. Here's the issue. You've got a dozen plus members of the Republican Party that I think do well. Lauren Boebert stood up and said no to McCarthy. I respect that. Matt Gaetz as well, and 17 others. I like Thomas Massie. I don't know how he's voting. He may be voting McCarthy. A lot of people are just voting McCarthy because they're willing to take what they call strategy and concessions. Look, McCarthy may be establishment, but he's promised to do these oversight hearings, these oversight committees. Get out of here, dude. I ain't playing that game. All right? Let me tell you what I see. McCarthy's going to get in, and then it's going to be routine uniparty garbage. This is a guy who was working against Donald Trump. So you think I believe he'll go against Democrats? Get out of here. So this is the funny thing. Hakeem Jeffries actually got more votes than McCarthy. And that shows one reason why I don't like Democrats. It's not a big reason, but they march in lockstep regardless. They're unified. I got to be honest. I can respect that. But what I like more is reasoned defection. Let me explain. When Nancy Pelosi was up for the speaker vote in 2021, you had the squad and AOC. You already got 2 votes for Jordan. 3 more defections. McCarthy loses again. And we're going to watch this happen as I do this. Oh, there's Lauren Boebert. She has voted. What do we get? They're just writing it down. Boebert stood up and voted for Jordan, it looks like. Okay. The squad, AOC, etc., they're outright saying, we will not support Nancy Pelosi unless we get these concessions. Everybody erupts. You've got, I'm pretty sure the Young Turks were like, support Pelosi. What are you, crazy? You're going to get a Kevin McCarthy speaker? That's not how it works. Progressives were like, what is wrong with you? Don't support the machine. And I'm cheering them on. I'm like, yes, this is what they should be doing. But in the end, the squad just gets behind Pelosi. And there it is. But then you take a look at these individuals. So 4 votes for Jordan already. I'm loving it. 1 more defection, and they're going to get it. And McCarthy loses again. Historic moment. This is, to me, exactly why I like some of these Republicans, not all of them, because they're here on principle. Now, here's what we're hearing. Again, because I got a lot of friends who are Republicans. They're saying, we want a church committee. Okay, we want church committee too. That is, we want oversight on the FBI, the CIA, the NSA, the intelligence agencies. I'm just waiting for that to tick up for Jordan one more time. We want oversight on this. I do. Luke Rudkowski, one of the first things he asks Boebert when we're at Turning Point USA, he's like, are we going to get a second church committee hearing? And I'm like, that's a good question. And Lauren's like, we want to see this happen. I believe Lauren Boebert is more likely to make something like that happen because she pushes back on the machine. Marjorie Taylor Greene supporting Kevin McCarthy in what a lot of people are saying is a quid pro quo. I like Marjorie Taylor Greene a lot. We've had her out to the show a couple times. She's genuine. And I think that's probably it. I'm not here to placate anybody or pander to anybody. I think Marjorie Taylor Greene met with McCarthy. He said, support me and I will get you on these committees. And I don't see anything wrong with that. Some people are like, it's a quid pro quo. And I'm like, she's supporting McCarthy because he is going to empower her in Congress. I can respect it. She believes he will. No, I tell you what I see will happen. Will there be church committee hearings? No. McCarthy is going to do the bare minimum. He's going to be a Democrat going the speed limit. He's going to get certain Republicans on certain committees, but not give them, not put the right people in the right places. You heard what Matt Gaetz just said. You get Jim Jordan on there, you will get accountability. You put McCarthy up there, you will get an image of accountability. So I see Carl in Super Chat saying, I bet a few Democrats come to McCarthy's rescue. I was thinking that exact same thing. 1 more defection for round 2. Historic failure for Republicans. It makes me feel good. You know why? Look, I hate to say it, but it is cathartic. 1923 was the last time that there was a failure to elect a Speaker of the House. And so it went to a second vote. They tried doing their rallies. Part of me, and I'm going to be honest with you guys, and many people may be mad at me about this, but I'm going to be honest with you guys. It feels good to get revenge. In 2016, in 2017, 18, Republican establishment worked against Donald Trump, the duly elected president of these United States. You don't have to like him, but he won. And that's what I see. I look at the Second Amendment, okay? And I certainly don't think people should have nukes or biological weapons. But my argument is you cannot just arbitrarily decide to change the rules. You got to go through the process. We agree on the rules. We play by the rules. So what do we get? Trump wins. The Republican establishment works against him. That pissed me off. What do we see now in 2019 into 2020? Establishment Republicans worked with Democrats in various states to change the rules. They admit to doing this, Pennsylvania being the best example. The Republicans go in. They work with Democrats to create universal mail-in voting in defiance to their own constitution. Then the lower court rules. You can't have universal mail-in voting this way because the Constitution says here are the parameters by which you can do this. And they said, no. Absentee is different from universal mail-in voting. 5 defections. There it is. With 5 defections, McCarthy has once again lost. And you know what? It feels good. It does. I think maybe they'll go to a third vote. 6 defections already. Man. Jordan's not going to get the votes he needs. Jeffries, it would be impossible to win unless Republicans vote for Jeffries. But what some people are concerned with is that if a handful of never-Trumper or moderate Republicans vote for Jeffries, you'll get a Democrat Speaker of the House. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I am not a Republican. I have never been a Republican. I don't dress like a Republican. We show up to Turning Point USA. Ian walks out with purple bell bottoms and his crazy, what was he wearing? Like a brown suede jacket. Luke is an anarchist. And he's saying like the government's been at you. People are cheering in the audience for him saying abolish the FBI. We were not we were not the key demo of Turning Point USA. Everybody who got up there wore a suit or something like it or a dress, and there were fireworks and explosions. We come out and we were all relatively different. I have always been a centrist, left libertarian type. I've never been a big fan of the Republican Party. A lot of their positions do not represent my values, but not like the Democrats do either. 7 defections right now as we're counting live. So when they tell me, when they say we're going to put up Kevin McCarthy for Speaker of the House, I'm just like, oh, okay, yeah, good luck. Like, dude, I'm not in your corner, okay? I come over to you during this culture war with Donald Trump. I say, listen, the media is lying about you guys. I don't like the lies. I want the truth. And they say, thank you for telling the truth, Tim. I say, no, you got it, man. Look, I know we don't agree on everything, but I'm not going to sit here while they just lie about everything to steal power. They come to me and say, we're pro-life. And I say, I hear you. I'm closer to that than I am to what the Democrats are offering with limitless abortion. So I hear you. Begrudgingly, I'd rather vote for a Republican in that capacity because the Democrats aren't offering me anything close to what I would. And I got to say, when it comes to the issue of abortion, Republicans actually are offering me. I talked to Crowder about this. Crowder said, do you think that, abortion is wrong? I'm like, yes. And he's like, would you be willing to accept some concessions? And basically what we said was, Crowder was like, we don't like it, we don't want it, but we'll accept some moderation on this one to negotiate with you. And I said, okay, okay, deal, right? Some exceptions for the health of the mother, for certain circumstances, rape, incest, etc., and certain. It's tough because I don't want the government involved, but I don't like abortion as contraception. But he was like, the Democrats are just saying no restrictions, none whatsoever, and I'm like, you're right. So here's my point. I, as a centrist, slightly left-leaning individual, I come to the Republicans along with many other MAGA people who are in a different space than me. I'm not saying we're in the same space, but we come to the Republicans and we're like, we don't like the Republican Party. You don't represent us. However, we see a unified front on key issues. When Trump started we set the timeline for getting troops out of the Middle East, with the Abraham Accords, with getting our troops out of Syria, I was like, that's massive in terms of what I see and I respect. When Trump went to North Korea and crossed into the DMZ with no security, I was livid to see the media, leftists and Democrats insulting Trump over this. I've even heard conservatives say, talk about so stupid, placating. No. You don't bring that to me. When Donald Trump crossed into the DMZ, I nearly cried. I'm like, this is a U.S. president crossing into enemy territory. There is still a war going on. And I have family tracing back to Korea. And you guys know this. And so when I saw the U.S. president, Donald Trump, say, security, stand back. I'm walking in here. They could have captured him. They could have taken him. But he did that as a sign of trust. And I was so impressed by that. So I'm willing to support that. With all of Trump's faults, I tell you. And then I see everything they did to hurt and stop Trump. And I'm like, these people don't represent me. McCarthy doesn't represent me. He's never represented me. I'm not going to vote for him. I'm not going to support him. I get it. The Republican Party winning the speakership is substantially better. McCarthy winning is a lot better than Jeffries. But you expect me, someone who doesn't trust you, who doesn't like a lot of your positions, to get behind. It's not going to happen. I'm sorry, it's just not. But I'm not gonna rag on Marjorie Taylor Greene or anything like that. I'm just like, oh yeah, good luck, Good luck. I don't speak for any of you who are watching. We all have very different backgrounds, very different political opinions. Many of the people watching I see in the chat are saying Trump for speaker. They're saying this is bad. Alan West, I see in the chat. A lot of people are MAGA. A lot of people are hey, look, Republicans should just win no matter what. I got no beef with you. I'm not going to tell you what to believe. I'm going to tell you this. I am a moderate, and I come to the Republican Party when they offer up something that matters. And that is, like I said, Abraham Accords. That was Trump. The attempts with North Korea, a lot of the stuff Trump did, I liked. Luke will come out and say, yeah, what about drones and all that stuff? And I'll be like, I get it, man. But I got to tell you, when it comes to the issue of foreign policy, Trump is the best I have seen in my life. Hands down, period. Don't even bother arguing with me. No, you're not going to be able to do it. Barack Obama blown up weddings. Now, don't get me wrong. Under Donald Trump, we did have more drone strikes. But the strategy there was we pull our troops out and we keep the drone strikes up to prevent Taliban or other terror groups or other insurgency from taking hold. Joe Biden destroys all of that with a surrender in Afghanistan, abandoning Bagram Air Force Base. I don't like these people. I am not going to enthusiastically support Kevin McCarthy. So I'll put it this way. Maybe the Republicans needed this reckoning. That's it. Maybe they need to be told, you are not the elite anymore. They sabotaged candidates who actually would have helped this country. Look at Blake Masters. The GOP establishment was nowhere to be found. Masters is a good dude. I like that guy. We had him on the show. Now, I think he leans more to the let's just try and get the victories we can. But I'm not a Republican. I can say it 800 billion times. So I sit back and I see this and I'm like, you know what? I think it's good that Republicans, you got 8 votes for Jim Jordan now. I think it's good that Republicans are being told outright, you are not the elites. You do not control us. And what you need to realize, let me tell you, my friends, when I went to the deplorable and I'm like, I wonder what it's going to be like. I'm not a Trump supporter. I actually have a lot of disdain for the man. This is back 2019, right? Or I'm sorry, 2017. He's about to get inaugurated. And I'm laughing and I'm like, I don't vote for the guy. And then I see 2 people come up to me with MAGA hats on and they're like, Tim, we're big fans. And I was like, really? I didn't realize I had Trump supporters who are fans. And they're like, no, we're Occupy Wall Street. And I was like, you're Occupy Wall Street here? Trump supporters? Like, whoa, Occupy Wall Street was lefty. Not completely. And they're like, no. They said, we wanted our borders secure. We wanted immigration solved. We wanted accountability for the big banks. The only candidate who offered that up was Donald Trump. Trump even came out and criticized pro-lifers recently. He is not this extremist. He is a moderate. And the Republican establishment fought him and tried to stop him. So I come to the Republican Party not as a suit-wearing, pro-life religious individual who believes in the Republican Party. I come to vote Republican because of shared issues. That's 2020. Now they're telling me to get in line and support the establishment. And I'm like, no, look, you guys go do your things. Marjorie Taylor Greene has been advocating very heavily for McCarthy. Go do your thing, by all means. I like Marjorie Taylor Greene. I'm not going to tell her. I'm not going to tell you guys who or what to support. I'm going to tell you exactly how I feel. 9 votes now for Jim Jordan. He's getting more votes. That's great. A shout out to Matt Gaetz. Look, the way I see it is the Republicans need people like me and many of you who are more moderate, who have not traditionally been Republican, who are typically independent, but they're not actually willing to offer us anything. They're willing to say, here are the issues that we agree on. Everything else, I won't negotiate. I won't compromise on. And you know what? I'm not going to ask them to. I am not the kind of guy who's going to go into someone else's house and say, change for me. I'm going to say, look, it's your party. If it's up to 10 now, Jim Jordan, 10 votes. If I go to someone else's house or business, I'll put it this way. I worked for Vice. Vice didn't do things for me that I wanted them to do. I didn't go in and throw a fit and throw chairs and be like, this is BS. You got to do this. I went to the boss and said, look, here's what I'm looking for. And here's what I can offer you. We agreed on these terms. I do not feel that you're fulfilling our end of the bargain. They said, we'll try. They gave me a little bit more money. It wasn't going so well. And so I said, with respect, it's your company. You guys should do your thing. Thank you so much. I'm out. I am not the kind of person who wants to go into someone else's house and tell them how to run their show. Nah, I'll go do my thing. And that's why I run my own company. With the Republican Party, I'm not going to tell you guys who to support. If you guys want McCarthy, I totally get it. Will Chamberlain, good friend. He's been advocating for McCarthy nonstop. I totally understand why. He's a conservative Republican guy. He likes McCarthy. McCarthy has offered a lot of really good things. Don't get me wrong. Me, I'm an anti-establishment guy. I don't care if they're Republican or Democrat. I'm not going to advocate for any of these people. In fact, I'm not even the biggest advocate for Jim Jordan, but I have to say, I agree with Matt Gaetz. Jim Jordan would do a better job of bringing accountability than Kevin McCarthy would. Hands down. Look, I'll just tell you guys, I'm sitting here. It's the beginning of the new year, and I'm looking at all the news, a bunch of stories today, and we get January 3rd, a historic day, the vote for the speaker. Jim Jordan now up to 11 votes. How many defectors are we going to see by the end of this? And I'm watching this go down, and it's a bit esoteric, you know, and I'm wondering how much do the average person really care about this? Probably not a lot of people. Like we're politicos. We pay attention to this stuff, but this is big. A rebuke of the Republican establishment, if only 19 votes. That makes me laugh. I was cheering for the squad to rebuke Nancy Pelosi. They didn't do it. I wanted them to. I wanted them to push back when AOC won her primary against Crowley. I laughed and I cheered and I said, good. Look, I don't like AOC's politics. And over the past few years, it's very different from when she won back then to now. Now I think she's duplicitous and part of the machine. But I'm watching this go down and I'm like, good. Push back. Shut them down. It's time to get the incumbents out of there. Some people have called for term limits. I don't know. I don't know if term limits solve the problem because I like that Ron Paul was in for like 11 terms or like 14 or some ridiculous number. Any politician who goes up there and says, here's all my positions, and then gives a whole bunch of positions I don't agree with, but then says, but don't worry, I'm not going to tell you what to do. I'm like, okay, all right, we got an agreement here. You know, me and Luke don't agree on policy positions. He's very anarchist. He says, if you believe in the Parks Department, you're a communist. And I'm like, if this guy's whole position is going to leave me alone, he'll get my vote over any of these other people because we can't all agree on everything. But I'm not an anarchist. So, you know, I don't completely agree. But I just got to say, it feels to me like the Republican Party doesn't understand that what Donald Trump did was brought moderates and independents into the fold. But that means you cannot play inside baseball. You cannot just keep things going as usual. You cannot kick Trump out and then think you'll retain any of that electoral power. That's just it. They narrowly won in the midterms by only a handful of seats. Well, like 5 seats they got for the majority, 4 seats. They needed, they needed 218 for the majority, and they got 222, I think it was. And narrowly in some places, Lauren Boebert almost lost. There's a lot of questions about that. I think ballot harvesting played a big role. But this means it is moderate, middle-of-the-road people who helped you out. And this is what we've been saying for a while. You know, you can come out and talk about why Kevin McCarthy should win all day and night. And I'm just going to say, like, you guys, if you didn't have the moderates who defected from Democrats, you wouldn't have this at all anyway. If you think you're going to come out with an establishment guy who's been in for 14 some odd years or whatever, you're not going to get us. You're not going to get me. Again, I don't want to speak for anybody else. So I'm going to sit here for a few minutes. We're going to watch this one live. I'll take your super chats because this is a special historical live show we're doing here. Beginning of the year, second show of 2023. And we've got a historic moment. Jim Jordan with 11 votes, meaning Kevin McCarthy will not have the votes needed to win. We got, I'll read some of your chats. We got Kurt Steven. He said, Marjorie Taylor Greene flipped because she doesn't want to have a Democrat speaker. You know, I heard that with Nancy Pelosi in the squad. Cenk Uygur was like, if you don't support Nancy Pelosi, then you're going to get a Kevin McCarthy speaker. It's impossible. It's literally not possible. With the minority, the Republicans did not have enough votes in their entirety to win the speakership. In order to win the speakership, that right now Jim Jordan, for Hakeem Jeffries to win, Republicans would have to vote Democrat. I do not see that happening. Republicans are just splitting their vote between McCarthy and Jordan. So right now, what happens? Another vote. Not since 1923. So I suppose we'll see. But that's what they were saying to the squad. Don't stand up to Nancy Pelosi because then a Republican will win. They can't. The Democrats can withhold their vote, or they could have voted for Jeffries against Pelosi, but they play ball. I'm not that kind of guy. You know, this is what, look, I never would want to be in Congress. But if I went in there and they play these games, they're like, you're a freshman, you don't get to do these things. You don't get to be in these committees. Maybe. I remember, they talk about how it was Ilhan Omar. She says these things about the Benjamins and dual loyalties and gets accused of anti-Semitism and all that stuff. And then she gets, they do this general condemnation of hate. Marjorie Taylor Greene, for posts she made a long time ago, gets booted off her committees. You think I'm interested in your games and your machine? I ain't. If I got into Congress, I'd probably none of you would want me to be your rep, because I'd do two things. I was thinking about this. I would set up a table and a little booth in like the center of the district, and I would spend most of my time there. And I would just be like, any one of my constituents can come talk to me about anything. And then if I went to D.C. for these votes, I would say, I'm here to represent my district, not one half or the other. And that means we got to have a conversation back home about our compromise, but I will make leadership decisions. And I'm not playing by your stupid rules. Okay? You're not going to tell me what I have to wear. You're not going to tell me what I can and can't say. I'm not playing your stupid games. You can't have a big box where you're like, we're a government of, for, and by the people, but I decide the rules. You can't. No, okay. Well, I'll come here and tell you what my district thinks. And if my district wants someone who's going to play ball, bend the knee, and kiss the pinky ring, they can vote for it. That's why I'm like, you probably wouldn't want me in Congress, because I would go up there, I'd vote no on everything. I would just be like, nope. And they'll be like, should we send more money to Ukraine? Nope. Should we, nope. Should we raise it? Nope. I just be like, get out. I'm not an anarchist, but I reject the ridiculous inside baseball. They come and they say, vote for McCarthy. Why? But he's the party leader. He's the House leader. I don't care. I don't care what you think. I don't care who you think should be in charge. And how many of these Republicans who just got elected are like, look, I don't want to go up against McCarthy because I'll lose my committee assignment. I don't care. So if Marjorie Taylor Greene is supporting Kevin McCarthy because she's concerned about losing committee assignments, that's her deal. Me personally, I'd give him the middle finger. Matt Gaetz came out and he said they were threatened with losing committee assignments unless they got behind Kevin McCarthy. I like Matt Gaetz, man. That's good job on him. Rep McCarthy does not have the votes. Third speaker vote expected. Yep. McCarthy should bow out, endorse Jim Jordan. You know why? This is what pisses me off. Marjorie Taylor Greene came out and said the Never Kevin people have no plan. They just don't like Kevin McCarthy. And I'm like, well, Kevin McCarthy accused Trump of being paid by Putin or something. That's one thing. Maybe it's not true. Maybe WAPO lied. Fine, whatever. But the Republican establishment, including McCarthy, they worked against Trump. Why would I support him? If you lose your committee assignments, so be it. But here's what I was going to say. The only reason these people are getting behind McCarthy is because they fear that. But that means the power, the ideology, and the core is with Jim Jordan. Jim Jordan now has 12 votes. McCarthy does not have the votes. If Jim Jordan wins, y'all are safe. You keep your assignments. In fact, you'll get better ones. If McCarthy wins, he's going to boot you. He's not going to give you what you want. You're not going to get the accountability. He's going to say, no, we shouldn't go after Joe Biden. I know he said they'll investigate, but I don't believe him. It's going to be inside baseball. It's going to be the protecting. Are you still there? The page has timed out. Yes, resume playback. We want to watch what's going on. I'm watching you, C-SPAN. We're watching. So look, here's my point. If every single person who supported McCarthy right now supported Jordan, you'd be fine. And you'd actually see some pushback. You'd see some victory. But they're scared of the GOP establishment. You know what? Go watch the Hunger Games when that one person does the little 3-finger salute or whatever, and then the cops start beating the people. Or how about the Spartacus moment? I am Spartacus. No, I am Spartacus. I'll tell you who I am. I'm the kind of person who would be voting for, I don't even know if I'd be voting for Jim Jordan, to be honest. I'd just be a troublemaker. But I'd say, okay, I'll give you that one. I'm not supporting the machine. I'd vote for Jordan. And everyone else should too right now. Let's read your super chats because I don't want to go too long. Pop Culture Crisis is going live soon. And so I don't want to go over the time. But let me take your super chats and talk to you while we're waiting for this vote to go through. And it's still a long time. They're going to be doing a third vote. Sporkwitch says, MTG or Ron Paul for speaker. They could vote for anybody. They could support Trump. Nominate Trump. Here we go. Carl says, I bet a few Democrats come to McCarthy's rescue. It's possible. It's possible a few moderate Democrats say, we don't want to be here all day. It is clear that it's not going to be Jeffries. And then, well, at this point, you would need like 13 Democrats. It's not going to happen. So I'm happy to see this. I feel like if we keep going business per usual, this country will be ripped apart. It is time for the McCarthy votes to realize he doesn't have the ideology. He doesn't have the zeal. He doesn't have, what's the right word? He doesn't have the conviction. Y'all are getting behind him because he's part of the machine. That's the wrong reason to do it. Jim Jordan out of 13 votes. Marty Smith Fansu says, Tim, what's going to happen is Democrats and Republicans will pick a moderate Cheney or a MASH, and we are screwed. I hear you. Yeah. I don't see a difference with Kevin McCarthy. Brado Jacko says, Marjorie Taylor Greene sold out. Will backstabbing, no doubt. I don't think she sold out. I think she compromised. And compromise isn't implicitly a bad thing. Going to Kevin McCarthy and saying, give us these things and we'll support you, I don't see it's all bad. The problem is, it's like he's a snake oil salesman. It's going to the machine that's sabotaged. It's like the dude who stabbed your tire. You go to him and say, okay, fine. We'll support you, but fix the tire. And they'll say, I'll give you a spare. Okay, fine. I'll take the spare tire. Fine. Like, dude, this guy sabotaged Trump. Okay, wow. Sorry, it ain't me. But I get it. You fear the machine. You'll take what you can get. It is what it is. Brado says, McCarthy will stab everyone in the back. MTG sucks. Yeah. Yup. Here's another thing. Kevin McCarthy went up after January 6th and blamed Trump for it. He blamed Trump for it. I can't believe people are voting for him. No, I'm sorry. I can. Mason Wolfie says, fingers crossed for 10 plus defections. We're at 13 defections. Yeah. Nolan Buss says McCarthy must nominate Jordan next round. Yeah, he should. But he's another one of these, it's my turn now. Sorry, not interested. All right, let's see what we got here. Dapper McStash says establishment GOP needs to be taught that they won't be supported or tolerated anymore. McConnell, Graham, Romney, etc., they do not represent the people's interest and they never will. You need to bring more than just a letter R next to your name. Here. Clef the Misfit says, Tim, why do you insist on prioritizing foreign policy? Like, I agree with you on that stuff, but who cares about the Abraham Accords when food bills have tripled, can't buy a house, borders wide open, and they're transing kids? Well, I'll tell you. I agree with you on those other issues. But right now, we're sending like $100 billion to Ukraine. We've spent billions, tens of billions, hundreds of billions on foreign failed wars. And I'll put it this way. When we had that story about Flint, Michigan and the busted pipes and the Legionnaire's disease, I said, why can't we just fix this? The money exists. Oh, modern monetary policy. Spend the money overseas. Now, how about you spend that money here? How about instead of sending all that money to Ukraine, you take all that money and you fix the pipes, you fix our bridges, you fix our roads. So first things first, stop blowing up kids. Stop sending our most respectable individuals, 14 defections, 15 defections. Some of the people I admire most in this country have been those who have served in the armed forces. I come from a military family, and I understand why they did it. My grandfather who fought in World War II. I understand. It's not always about this nobility. Sometimes it's a job. But it sickens me that we send our bravest, our best, our most willing to serve our nation overseas for BS reasons. That's why foreign policy. But you're right about the other issues. I'm saying, hey, America first. Fix our borders. Bring our jobs back. Make the lives of the American people better. But see, a lot of these people, they want to spread the wealth around the world. Nah, I call BS on that, man. I call BS on that. I got tons of respect for my Ukrainian friends. I feel for them. I was talking to a friend of mine. They were so happy that the Democrats and that we were sending all this money. And I was like, look, I'm not happy with Putin. Okay, it's horrifying what he's doing to your country. My friend, Ukrainian. And I'm like, but you got to understand the American people don't want to be involved in this. It's just this political elite that want to use Ukraine as a proxy. They don't care about you. They don't care about your family. They don't care about your president. They don't care about your government. It's just one big dirty game. I don't want to be involved in that. I don't want Putin to get away with whatever, but I just don't think this foreign intervention is it. One big reason why the U.S. government wants to do it. They want the U.S. dollar to be propped up. They want all these countries to use 16 defections. They want all these other countries using U.S. dollars, which makes our dollar stronger. I just want to sit back in a rocking chair with some sun tea, hard day's work, and know that we earn our keep, not through reserve dollars or, this stupid global policy stuff, the UN, whatever. Modern monetary policy, liberal world economics, things like that. The idea that because we are the world police, our dollar is paramount, and then we don't have to produce in order. I'm not a fan of that. Sorry. I get it. We all live very, very well in this country because of modern monetary policy. I'm not a fan of that. So Russia bad, hands down. China bad, you betcha. And I fear about how we're going to be dragged into war and conflict, and there's not much we can do. I don't have the answers. But if you don't justify them to me, I'm not going to support you, and I'll speak out against you. You got to justify beyond this nonsense, about freedom and stuff like. They've not justified any of it. They never have. They just lie. But maybe I don't know. It's a rock and a hard place, to be completely honest. There's probably stuff we don't know about that's going on. 17 defections, 17 votes for Jordan. I swear, if the next round goes through and the McCarthy faction breaks and just says fine Jordan, it'll be an epic day. A historic, epic day. I hope we see it. I hope we really do. Let me read some more super chats because I can't be alive for too much longer. You guys got to check out Pop Culture Crisis. They're live right now, I believe, and that's just a pop culture show. So I know we're here talking politics, talking chop, but I don't want to cut into their time. All right, let's grab some more. Yep. Marty Smith says only way we win is McCarthy bows out and endorses Jim Jordan, or we could get Cheney or Amash with Dem support. I'm not interested in that. Amash was saying that he would be the middle of the road choice if they nominate him. Democrats and Republicans vote for him, and then they don't get. They say Jordan just voted for McCarthy. That's right, he sure did. Don't care. All right, let's go. Raymond G. Stanley Jr. says, love it. Tim's team America first, MAGA nowadays. But I've always been about the people in this country. I was big on Bernie Sanders in 15 and 16 because he was talking about securing our borders. He said illegal immigration was so bad for this country. He's changed, mind you. But there was a lot of people that I'd met on the campaign trail, 18 defections. Wow. There were a lot of people who told me they were Bernie supporters who flipped and voted for Trump because Bernie was out and they're not going to support Hillary. And Trump was the only other guy talking about securing our borders and bringing back jobs. Bernie was the guy for a while. He's not anymore. So it's always been about our country, no wars. It's always been about you and me. We're going to work together. We're going to work hard. We're going to roll up our sleeves. We're going to make cool stuff. That's Scalise. Voted for McCarthy. 18 defections. Omo Sango says, so disappointed in Marjorie Taylor Greene. She's showing cowardice here. Gates is showing the way. The stupid party will be stupid. Yeah. Philip says, how is Mr. Bokus? He's been getting subcutaneous IV fluids, electrolyte solutions, and a hormone to stimulate red blood cells. He is extremely gaunt, but he's bouncing up and about and doing his thing. And he really wants to go outside, but he can't. So he's doing better. But he's very, very thin. We're trying to get him to eat. It's not easy. Hopefully he's got some time left, but he's very young. So I don't know. All right, let's grab some more super chats. Sergeant Sparkles says, if I was there, I would allow 3 votes. Then I would stand up like Gates did and tell the Republicans, if McCarthy doesn't stand down, I will vote for Jeffries. Hear, hear. You know, I had people saying, like, what if a Democrat wins? I'm like, I don't care. Oh, no, the establishment wins. Is it going to be McCarthy? Is it going to be Jeffries? So we have a choice between the Democrats and a Republican a Republican who's basically a Democrat driving the speed limit. 19 defections. Jim Jordan. Come on. You'd love to see it. Jim Jordan's far from perfect. I just like the rebuke. I don't know that Jim Jordan will be perfect. I don't know if he's going to be entirely better than McCarthy. So I don't know. I'd like, the Thomas Massey, Ron Paul, Trump. Qwerty Anna says, stop calling Jordan supporters defectors. McCarthy ones are the defectors from their responsibilities. Good point. So let's call the McCarthy votes, in my view, are the shill votes. The Jordan votes are the conviction votes. I'll put it that way. The people voting for Jim Jordan are standing up and saying, I am not here to get behind the machine. I am here because I actually believe in something. Jim Jordan's not a perfect guy. Don't get me wrong. But he's done a lot. I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but I can tell you that there have been many a time I've seen him sign a letter calling out the machine and calling out the corruption that we've seen, from censorship to the intelligence agencies, et cetera. I do think Jordan is probably a better choice than McCarthy, to be completely honest. But I'm not a Republican. So to me, it's more just like the Republican establishment needs a rebuke. That's what they need. 19 defectors. Oh, please go up to 20. I think we're going to see. I don't want to say defectors. Okay, conviction votes. Let's call it that. Jim Jordan. I hope we see 20 Republicans stand up on principle. All right, we'll grab some more super chats. All right. Eric B says McCarthy will endorse Jeffries before Jordan. Yep. Handyman says the government wins every election, Tim. Perhaps. It's somewhat of a joke, but it's not completely wrong. It's not. The bureaucrats in D.C. win every election. But I think we can see some changes. There's Stefanik voting for McCarthy again. This is interesting. It's interesting. I'm not here to pander to anybody. I'm not here to stand up and be like, now slow down there, everybody. Kevin McCarthy's going to do best. Nope. What I am is somebody who can't stand the machine, never could stand the machine, is not going to support the machine. It's not going to happen. So that means if the majority of people I know are going to be mad at me because I'm someone with a lot of followers saying no to McCarthy, guys, I said this during Occupy Wall Street, and they didn't get it. They were like, Tim, you're doing a great job. I said, I'm not on your side. I am not on your side. I am here because I believe in principles that I have. Sometimes they change because I learn new things. But I'm here because I believe in what's true, and I think people deserve to know the truth. And so it may be that with Trump coming in, I'm sitting here saying I'm going to vote for him. He's doing the right thing. And people are like, yes, Tim's on our side now. I'm like, kind of, but not really. It may be in 5 years we have a dramatic shift in the Democratic Party, and the Republicans are like, I can't believe Tim's voting Democrat now. It's like, well, if they fire every single one of these people, get rid of all the trans kid stuff, perhaps. I really doubt that will happen, to be completely honest. But I'd probably vote Mises Caucus, vote Libertarian, because I don't like voting against. Although I'm not completely ideologically driven. Like, I get it. If there was a real risk of Jeffries becoming speaker, I'd probably be a little bit more like, oh, man, this is tough. I just don't see it. Although people are mentioning like a Cheney type, and I'm like, yeah, I get it. But I kind of just feel like there's got to be some kind of revenge. Sorry, man. I know people don't want to hear it. But the Republican establishment needs to know they don't have it. You don't. 19 votes for Jim Jordan. Conviction for ideals. Maybe McCarthy will be forced to bow out. I'd love to see it. Let's see. Kylie Hatcher says, Tim, do you think there will ever be a third party to unite everyone, or do you think the system may collapse first? No way on a third party. Right now, what we're seeing with these 19 votes is the MAGA party. We are seeing within the Republicans, there is a different faction. The Democrats have it too, but AOC and the rest of the squad fall in line. Christopher Walsh says we need an aggressive speaker like Jordan because Democrats play dirty, not milquetoast McCarthy. Fair point. All right. Damage Controlling says, never been so excited to lose an election. It's great. Dapper McStash says, by the way, Tim, would love to see you guys interact with Chicken City like you did earlier more often. Yeah, that when my studio was next to Chicken City, I'd open the window and I'd yell at him. All right. Count Snecula says, don't call them conviction votes. It's really the vote of we the people. Establishment is receiving a message that the people hate them and want accountability. People's votes. All right. 19 people's votes. I'll take it. You see, here's the challenge, guys. It's 3:11. Been live streaming now for about 50 minutes. It's huge, but I think we're going to have to wrap this one up. I got to get the podcast up. Plus, Pop Culture Crisis is live right now, and you guys should go check them out. Go to timcast.com, and you can watch Pop Culture Crisis live. I know. It's not politics. Most of you are probably not going to want to do it because this is a major political historic moment. But I do only have a limited amount of time. I can't do these special live streams as often. But this is major. So I really do appreciate you guys hanging out, super chatting, watching live. Become a member at timcast.com. We've got, I think it's CJ Pearson who's coming on. Is that I could be wrong. Is it CJ? Let me see who we have live tonight. Normally don't announce it. It's CJ Pearson's live tonight on Timcast IRL. So check that out. It's going to be a lot of fun. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, share the show with your friends. Stay tuned because tonight we'll have the full breakdown of how everything goes down. And we're going to see, we've already seen history in the making. It's been 100 years since a moment like this happened. The people are standing up. Bravo. Become a member at timcast.com. We can use your support. And if you go there now, you can watch Pop Culture Crisis. I want to shout them out again. Let's get them their biggest show ever. There's 19,000 people who are watching politics. Go chill out, watch some pop culture over on YouTube at Pop Culture Crisis and at timcast.com. And we'll be back for Timcast IRL live at 8 p.m. And we're going to talk about what went down, history in the making. 2023 is off to a bang. I'm really excited for this. Thank you all so much for hanging out. Again, become a member at timcast.com, Pop Culture Crisis. And we'll see you all. Wait till 20. Everyone's saying wait till 20. Okay, all right. We'll wait to see if we can get to 20. All right? We're going to wait. I think we're getting close to the end. I'll turn the volume up here.
McCarthy.
Let's see if we can get to 20 votes for
Williams
Jim Jordan.
of Texas.
Here we go.
McCarthy.
There's a McCarthy vote.
Wilson of Florida. Jeffries.
That's a Democrat.
Wilson of South Carolina. McCarthy.
The other thing, too, is Democrats keep giving speeches.
Whitman. McCarthy. Womack.
Will
McCarthy.
that?
Yakum.
I don't think we're going to see one more Jordan, to be honest.
McCarthy.
I don't think we'll see it. Maybe we will.
Zinke. McCarthy.
Come on. Only a couple more. That's it? Is that it? No. I'm having a good
The
time.
reading clerk will now call the names of the representatives elect who did not answer the first call of the roll.
Let's see it. They didn't answer the first call. So it looks like we've got, what, 5 people?
Costa. Jeffries.
Vote for Jeffries. All right, a couple more. I think 3 more. Who do we got? Let's see if McCarthy goes down.
DeLauro. Jeffries.
I think, okay, 2 more maybe, right? Is it 2 more votes? Yeah, 2 more. No, there should be, yeah, 2 more. I think it should be 2 Republicans. I think it's going McCarthy.
Gallego. Jeffries.
So who am I counting off? Who am I missing? 213 for Jeffries. So I was right the first time. Was it 5? I don't know. I'm not doing good math right now, guys. Here we go. Looking through our little book. Smith of Nebraska. McCarthy. So I think it's what? We got one more? How many we got? I think that's one more, right?
Webster of Florida.
McCarthy. There it is. Yup. 19 votes for We the People. A third vote will kick off. It's going to be a long day. I'm willing to bet that when we launch IRL, it's going to be the same thing. All right, everybody. I'm going to wrap it up there. Thank you all so much for hanging out. Smash the like button. Become a member at timcast.com. There's a whole bunch of awesome stuff happening this year. We are going to be opening physical locations. Our first location is hopefully opening soon. It's in the works. Could take a few months. Hang out, drink coffee. We got the new coffee company getting ready to launch. We are going to create physical locations where you can hang out, watch shows, talk news, talk politics, be with like-minded people. We're going to put Molon Labe up in the window. We're going to put America up in the window, America first. We're not going to cower in fear. With your support, that's the kind of stuff that we're working on. I'm really excited for this. Head over to Pop Culture Crisis. Give them a shout out. Let them know I sent you. And that's one of our shows over at timcast.com. It's pop culture. It's culture related. But winning the culture war means being involved in it. It means producing it. And that means not everything's going to be, esoteric politics. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. We'll see you tonight at youtube.com/timcastirl.